I had a great question from a dog owner in email, and they went through some ML videos and they started hearing about how punishment doesn't work, and they want me to elaborate on why punishment doesn't work. So I'm going to do that for you. Okay? The entire field of psychology has two components. Number one is the study of the mind. Number two is the study of behavior, and that behavior is animal behavior, which includes human beings. Okay? B.F. Skinner was a radical behaviorist, and as a radical behaviorist, B.F. Skinner himself would tell you to replace your dog with human child and ask you point blank what you would do different. Okay? That's the reality. Why would he tell you that? Because that's what he was doing in the lab. He was replacing human beings with dogs, pigeons, and rats, etc., in his lab and doing experiments on animals in his lab to understand our behavior. Skinner understood and he proved beyond any freaking shadow of doubt that the causes of your behavior is no different from that of the dog, the pigeon, or the rat. And the cause is the most important thing. The cause is diagnosis. Why doesn't punishment work? Because it doesn't change intent. People believe that they have free will. You do not have free will when it comes to your behaviors, when it comes to your actions. All of your intent, all of your free will is in your mind. That's where your intent is. That's where your desires. That's where all your wants, needs, and desires are, in your mind. Your limbic system controls whether you get your desires or not. That's the reality. The mind does not override the limbic system. So the limbic system itself is a completely separate organ. It's a separate system that controls all of your behaviors. It's a center for all of your emotions. And what are your emotions? It's your instincts that drive all of your behaviors. So you're, happy is a behavior. It's a instinct. Anger is an instinct. Fear is an instinct. And each one of these instincts drive different behaviors. Okay? In the case of anger or fear, it's going to drive your behavior of fight or flight, aggression and reactivity. But yet we're declaring dogs aggressive and reactive. Really? What pisses you off? What makes you angry? What makes you show aggression? Do you even understand? You don't even know what causes it, do you? That's the problem. Jonathan Edwards, 250 years ago, said in his book Freedom of the Will that we know about our behaviors but not about our causes. And the cause is diagnosis. If you don't understand why your child is acting out, then reward and punishment is not going to work. Why would you even think about applying reward and punishment when you don't even understand why they're acting out in the first place? Why are you rewarding and punishing your dog when you don't even understand the cause of why they're acting out? This is the whole problem with dog training. They don't diagnose dogs. They're not understand the cause. They don't give a shit about the cause. I do. Why is your dog acting out? Why is your dog barking? Why is your dog raging eating in the leash? If you don't understand why, then there's no sense in trying to reward and punish the dog. That's the reality. But that's all you're being told to do. You're being told every time your dog acts out, every time your dog shows reactivity or aggression, you need to step in and reward and punish your dog. Well, what you're doing in reality is taking away the ability, the skill that they need to learn. It's called rationalization. You as a human animal, when you're in the face of something brand new in the environment and you're not too sure, guess what? Your cortisol levels and adrenaline levels are going to go up. And they're going to put you on the precipice of fight or flight. And what is fucking fight or flight? Aggression and reactivity. It's no different for the dog. Have you ever had the hair stand in the back of your neck? Danger imminent. That's usually what it means. Something bad is going on, but you're trying to figure it out. Your body knows. Your limbic system knows something bad is coming. Your mind is trying to catch up. Your mind is always playing catch up to your emotions and your instincts. So when your hackles go up, when the hair stands on the back of your neck, that's your hackles. If you can't control it, what do you think? What do you think the dog can? It's a response to something in the environment. That's all behaviors are. It's a response to something in the environment. That's all they are, but yet you're rewarded and punishment to something in the environment. So understand this. When your dog goes fight or flight, or when you go fight or flight, when you meet something new in the environment, freak the dog for a minute. When you meet something brand new in the environment that you're not too sure of, that thing in the environment that's scaring you is punishing you. Now, doggo trainers are telling you point blank, you know what, reward the dog for that. So they're actually telling you to reward something in the environment that's punishing the dog. Or you're going to tell you to punish the dog more. You're punishing something that you don't even understand in the environment. The dog is already being punished by something in the environment. That's the reality. That's the reason why they're fight or flight in the first place. But now they're telling you to layer on the punishment. And you don't even understand why the dog is being punished in the first place. This is the ridiculous shit that's going on. If your child were standing there scared, would you shove food in their face? Would you prong or shock them or smack them upside the fucking head because they're scared? If you wouldn't do it to your child, then don't do it to your dog. As a radical behaviorist, B.F. Skinner would tell you point blank to replace your dog with human child and ask you what you would do different. Because it's no different. He proved in a lab that your behaviors, the causes of your behaviors, are no different from your dog. It's all environmental. You do not have free will when it comes to your behaviors. And Skinner would tell you point blank, if you sit down and read the damn books, that you're not responsible for your own behaviors. That's the reality. Positive reinforcement is all about your desires and your desire not to die. It's your desire to stay safe. But all society knows right now as a result of freaking dog training is have a fucking treat. And that terrifies me, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even talk right now. My freaking lungs are gone. Understand something. You are being lied to by everybody. Back in the 1960s, behaviorists at the time turned around and assassinated B.F. Skinner professionally, and they overlaid him with Edward Thorndike. What you're being told is that B.F. Skinner is actually Edward Thorndike. You're being lied to by every friggin' behaviorist out there, and you don't even know it. But yet you won't read a book from B.F. Skinner to understand that. Neither will they. I've talked to thousands of dog trainers over the years, behaviors, vet behaviors. Not one of them has ever read a book from B.F. Skinner, but yet that's all they ever learn. That's how B.F. Skinner created the waters of dog training, and he didn't. B.F. Skinner did not approve of punishment. He wrote papers on the negatives of a punitive society. He wrote papers on how the prison system is a system of punishment, not a system of rehab. A person commits a time or crime. They go to jail. They do their time. That should be the end of it. But no, they got a criminal record dogging them for the rest of their life. It's the punishment with the threat of punishment. That's the reality. This is all methodological behaviorism. It's punishment with the constant threat of punishment. Why don't you speed? Because you don't want to get a fine. That's the threat of punishment. You're going to get pulled over and get a fine. You don't drink and drive because you don't want to get pulled over and thrown in jail. It's the threat of punishment that keeps you in line. And if the threat of punishment is not there, then guess what? Punishment doesn't work. Because it doesn't change the intent. It doesn't change the mind. Psychology is the study of the mind and behavior. The mind is where all of your intent is. The mind is where all your free will is. But your friggin' mind has no say in the limbic system. Your mind has no say in your behaviors. So when you punish your child, if your child is out stealing cookies and you give him a smack on the ass, if there's no threat of punishment, then guess what? The child's going to do it again because the intent doesn't leave. It doesn't change the intent. That's psychology. It doesn't change the mind. The intent is always there. The desire for the cookie is always there. It's the threat of punishment. It's the threat of smack in the ass. It's the threat of repeated punishment that keeps the mind in line. That's the only reason why it works. If you don't understand the cause of why your child is acting out, then reward and punishment is not going to be effective. But that's all people do is punish a child, and there's always the threat of punishment. If you do it again, you're going to get another smack in the ass. If the threat of punishment is not there, then guess what? Punishment doesn't work. Because it's not changing the intent. It doesn't change the desire for the thing that the child wanted in the first freaking place. Now, why is your dog acting out? If you and I were in a bar, and you all of a sudden slap me across the face, I'm going to ask you why you did it. And I guarantee you couldn't tell me why you did it. Because you had an emotional response, which is an instinctual response called anger or fear, and you struck out. That's what caused you to fucking slap me across the face. But that doesn't seem to matter. Do we call human beings aggressive? Human beings are the most aggressive animal on the planet. We're the most deadly animal on the planet, but yet we declare dogs aggressive and put them down. What the hell is going on here? This is the foolishness that's going on today, and we're calling it dog training. And it's killing millions of dogs, and it needs to stop, ladies and gentlemen. Punishment is not effective. Understanding the cause of a behavior is the most effective thing you can do. That's called diagnosis. It's cause and effect. And if all you do is focus on the effect is all the behaviors, the outcome of the cause. And if all they have you doing is focusing on the effect, you're shutting down the effect, guess what? The cause is going to start growing heads. This is why when you start having behavioral problems, if all you're doing is trying to freaking curb the behaviors and never address the cause, guess what? The cause starts growing heads. And it's going to start getting worse. This is why minor behaviors turn to serious behaviors down the road. If you don't understand the cause of why something's happening, of why a behavior exists in the first place, you're not fixing shit. And I guarantee you it's going to lead to your dog being killed. Jonathan Edwards, 250 years ago, wrote a book called Freedom of the Will, where he stated clearly, we know about our behaviors, but we don't understand the cause of them. 250 years ago, this was understood, but yet today people still don't get it. Wake up and understand that every bit of psychology that's been shoved down your throat is a goddamn lie. That's the reality. And until you wake up to it, more dogs are going to die. More money's going to be spent, and dog trainers are getting away with everything. There's no accountability right now in the dog training system. None. Zero. Dog trainers need to be sued up the wazoo for what they're doing because they're lying to you. They can't even define the word behavior. Vet behaviors, you need to get the fuck out of the behavior ring, period. Stick to being a vet. But we all know That do no harm is out the window with every bit of vet care, isn't it? Do no harm is out the window when it comes to vet care. This is the reason why now you're in the behavior ring, trying to make more money. It's all about money. It's a flush for fucking cash business, and I'm getting tired of it. Any vet that's telling you to kill your dog needs to lose their license. Any dog trainer or behaviorist that's telling you to kill your dog hasn't got a clue what a behavior is. They need to get out of the field. Period. End of sentence. Have a good night.